Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with here today with an article from The Federalist. This is dated November 11th, and it is entitled, Lying Corporate Media Are Responsible for Kamala Voters' Delusional Despair. And I thought it would be worth it to go over one of these articles because you're already seeing reports out there of people offing, because I have to use YouTube language, offing their family members because Donald Trump won, which is a psychosis I can't even fathom. And, I was thinking about this, that after I saw some of those, I'm like, yeah, I think it is really the media's fault about that they keep filling these people's head with lies, and there's no accountability on their end. So let's go ahead and see what this article has to say. It says, start with the subheading here, scroll back up, come on mouse, work with me. It says, one cannot overstate just how much influence the corporate media has over the majority of leftists. No wonder they're shocked once again. So it says conservatives are not just currently celebrating Trump's victory, but finding themselves drowning in the sudden flood of leftist tears. However good the Schadenfreude might feel, we should realize that it isn't the leftists themselves acting out in lamentation, but the totalitarian propaganda working through them. Indeed, when we see college students and their professors sucking their thumbs and bundling up with their safety blankets in designated coping spaces, we shouldn't point and laugh, at least not too loudly. We should say to ourselves, there, but for the grace of God and his instrument, Elon Musk, go I. And scrolling down, it says, one cannot overstate just how much influence the corporate press has over the majority of leftists. It's less a bubble and more a multi-layered, multi-dimensional, bomb-proof echo chamber that completely warps the reality of the person trapped in it. Perhaps it feels like a transparent and burstable bubble at first, but for so many leftists, it has morphed into a prison cell from which there is no escape. It's like Orwell's Doublethink in 1984, but more subtle and deep-seated. It says this kind of mental illness should elicit more pity than revenge from conservatives who, for all that they have suffered otherwise, have never been brainwashed like this. Free speech has always been a key feature of all the many strains of conservatism. Opposing free speech is now the central principle of all the many strains of progressivism. Whether it's establishing a welfare state, imposing an intersectional hierarchy, or dissolving all borders and traditions, it is necessarily predicated on controlling the flow of information and eliminating dissent. Yeah, so basically all anti-American stuff. So fortunately, now that Trump and the MAGA movement have won, they can dismantle this vast propaganda leviathan. Republican legislators can outlaw online censorship and break up big tech monopolies. They can also challenge the absurd legal protections that allow news outlets to spread outright falsehoods without any accountability. Yeah, this is the thing I want to see go away, because I don't remember what the exact law is, but there's something that says like they're basically allowed to do that, and that should not be the case. And I think Obama might have put that in place. So that needs to go away, though. They need to be held accountable for their lies, because you can see what it's already doing to people. It says, and, if nothing else, they can defund NPR and PBS, sorry, Big Bird, and the array of NGOs and government organizations that target conservative voices. Yes, all of them. Defund everything. Okay? It says, outside of legislation, the executive agency should stop pressuring social media platforms and search engines to amplify and erase content. No longer would Google, YouTube, or Facebook be secretly compelled to hide the content of conservative influencers and conservative publications. Rather, they could return to their original mission of giving a platform to all voices and making money. Yeah, which ones did it say? Yeah, I know Facebook is already kind of being stupid. I'm not really sure about Google, but YouTube, I've heard a bunch of people say that their channels are starting to move again. Mine certainly is. It was frozen for a few months, and then just within the last month or so, it started picking up steam again. So, well, thank you to everybody out there that's subscribing, but just to at least, illustrate a point that I think whoever's foot was on the button is now taking it off. It says this might not end all the abuse. God, there are some typos in there. This might not end all the abuses of the leftist corporate media, but it would go a long way to bring balance to public discourse and reduce political polarization. As it stands, producers of conservative news media are at a disadvantage because their reach is limited. While most American consumers of media scroll through social media or use Apple or Google for news and commentary, conservative consumers are forced to go to their preferred publications directly and subscribe. Come on, mouse. My mouse is being retarded right now. It says, by default, This double standard grants automatic legitimacy to media outlets that are grossly biased, inaccurate, and of substandard quality, and casts into doubt rival media outlets that are more objective, follow proper journalistic conventions, and have a wealth of talent. And I'm not going to use my mouse to scroll down now. I learned. It says, true, some might protest that removing the advantages enjoyed by corporate media may lead to many more outlets shutting down. That's fine. But a level playing field would also force the ones who survive to improve their product and rethink the way they operate. For example, stop being biased, inaccurate, unreadable. Looking at you, MSNBC, CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, all you guys. There's everyone who complains about the dumbing down of public discourse, the rise of demagogues, and the coarsening of the culture could finally see serious reform in these areas of modern life. And it would make things better for everybody if they could see both sides of the coin and not just one extreme side, as it is with the progressives. It says, would this lead to some loud clashing of ideas and the explosive revelation of uncomfortable truths? Of course, but it is far better than cultivating a delusional progressive minority of Americans unable to cope with reality, and a majority of conservative Americans feeling their way through an unchecked cacophony of alternative media. By cleaning up today's media, Trump and the Republicans can restore order to today's politics and bring real healing to the culture. For the time being, we should do our best to understand and forgive leftists who are going through a crisis that is quite real for them. I mean, if you're getting... I don't fully agree with that. Like, the people who are offing their family members, like, yeah, that's a problem. And yeah, I feel for those people. But the people who are just like out there screaming, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to forgive them. But anyway, it says, finish this up. It says, but after that, we need to help them out of their situation by expanding their access to different opinions, holding journalists accountable, and end the gaslighting once and for all. Yeah, I agree with all that. That last sentence there, 100%. But some of these people, I think, they're lost. And if there's people out there that, or not if, but the people out there that are offing their family members, there had to be some mental illness there already for that to happen, because nobody goes, oh, the other presidential candidate that I didn't vote for won an election, I'm going to annihilate my family in response to that. Like, who does that? Who thinks that? Okay, yeah, there's something wrong with you already. But for the regular people that you see on TikTok that are like screaming and yelling, and then, like, that's it, or saying, like, we're going to stop doing things with men. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for you. You know, maybe that makes me a bad person. Whatever. I don't care. Anyway, what do you think about this? Do you think the media is responsible for the way these leftists feel today? I mean, I certainly do. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.